All right, so we'll close out the GDP side with a relevant topic on when it just comes to finance itself, because that's been one of the more laughable arguments against a border wall is the fact that it's gross expenditure of our budget. It's an unacceptable amount of money that it would take to finance something that could be going to something more beneficial. It is laughable at best when you have anyone talking about waste, fraud, and abuse within the United States government. Money is imaginary at this point. What do you guys think?
I definitely agree. Hard to have a budget when you're $20+ trillion in debt. There is no money to budget anymore.
Maybe that was a strategy of Trump's, where it was just like, well, what was it? He was asking for 5.3 billion,
something like that.
Billion, regardless, like to us, an unimaginable amount of money. To the United States government, pocket change, and they would not budge on that. For what? Out of principle, financial burden that it would cast on the American society, or whether it was just immoral. Regardless, it's a joke. It is. You realize what our industries could accomplish and what they could build. We could build a Death Star if we wanted to. It would not be an issue, because that is the amount of strength and pull and capital that the United States government has hold of. So anytime I hear that, no, it's unconstitutional, it's exorbitant, it's wasteful, give me a break, man. Give me a break. You know what happens when they're trying to talk about, well, we should be using this money for the border agents and like increased surveillance. It's like, if you invest that money, you invest $5 billion into pet projects that will, increasing surveillance, increasing whatever it is that the plan was. You don't know what will be there in 10 years. You invest $5 billion into building a wall. In 10 years, you'll look and you'll see a wall. But this is really peeled back the veil on how absurd politics is, especially when money's involved.
Well, and you think about the stimulus packages that are billions and billions of dollars that include things that,
how successful were those? The Green Deal?
I mean, such as studies on, lesbianism and whatever else that they have.
Why
tucked
lesbians?
In there.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Why lesbians are obese and alcoholic, and there was over $1 million dedicated to that. So it's that's what I mean.
Here, let me put it in a percentage of what $5 billion is compared to 22 trillion. $5 billion is 0.0002.
Too much money.
Percent of that.
That'll break the bank.
I mean, let's take that out of $1,000. That would be 22 cents.
I remember when the highest end estimate was what it was. The wall would cost, I think it was like $20 billion. Whew. And if they'd reduce food stamps by 25% for 1 year nationally, it'd be paid for.
Think of the children.
Think of the children not getting their Mountain Dews.
That's a good point, actually. Let's say, isn't Mountain Dew the number one item purchased with food stamps?
Mountain Dew.
I honest to God, I think with like snack cards. No.
Sushi.
For real, Mountain Dew, I think, is the number one purchased item with
New
food
York
stamps.
Strip.
Yeah, New York Strip. Yeah, you've seen those receipts. Yeah, it's such a joke. It's such a facade, and it all comes down to the fact that like these people, it's not that they don't want the wall because they don't think it'll work. They don't want the wall because they know it would work. We'll bring this back, and we'll close out once again with the analogy that the country is a home. Okay, take your door off the hinges. What's going to happen? Okay. We'll take the environmental effects out of it. Yeah, it might get a little chilly. Depending on the neighborhood you're in, depending on when you leave and you go to work, when you're about doing your business, that's an open invitation. Okay? How efficient is that? Not having some sort of just a physical barrier. I mean, this is so rudimentary in my opinion. Physical barrier is the most basic deterrent when it comes to someone entering who is not wanted. I mean, that speaks to a bigger issue. Everyone's wanted. No, forget that. That's absurd. Not everyone's wanted. Not everyone's wanted. Okay, I don't care how that comes across, but not everyone is wanted in this country. We want the best and the brightest. Am I saying I'm the best and brightest? Hell yeah, I am. I got 10 subscribers. What do you have? Okay? This is Rob Rants. Welcome to excellence. You know what I'm saying?
The country is, it's collective. This is America is great because of our diversity, and diversity is our strength, and what have you.
I've heard that.
Well,
I've heard that.
these people that are coming from these Mexico and South American countries, they're coming in droves and replacing our numbers. By 2050, whites will be a minority.
Good.
All you care
in the
about is
country.
weight.
Well,
You suburbicon.
but
whatever.
what I'm trying to say
Raptor.
is that when you look at these countries compared to the USA, don't you think that there's something fundamentally wrong with those countries that these people are coming from? And if they're not part of the problem, then what are they? I mean, what happens when it becomes a 50% plus Hispanic population in America? Does America become a Venezuela or a Brazil, or a Mexico? Is that
Well,
what
I'll tell you
happens?
this: if the Democrats get their way in the Electoral College, absolutely. Look, it's easy. How many of these people from leftist hotbeds like New York, California, are moving out to less leftist areas? Like, how many people from California are moving into Texas? You can already see a lot of the impact that's having on their local elections and stuff like that right now. So, if just the several thousands of people can affect it on that scale, imagine what is it? 75 million immigrants, legal immigrants. That's just the goal for legal immigrants. That's not counting the amount of illegals they want, but 75 million legal immigrants is what they want by 2060 to come into America. Now, imagine how many illegals are going to come in on top of that. That's a huge number.
I think one of the most shocking things, and I think it was at CPAC, that Trump stated was, we're creating so many jobs, we're going to need immigrants.
We want more
My
legal
man.
immigrants than you've ever seen.
Yeah, more. But it has to be legal. That is not an accurate solution. Okay, what what you judge a society by the conditions of the lowest members of it. Take a look around you, especially when if you go into an urban environment. It's like, to some people this is probably a hellhole. To some people they struggle daily. The solution to their problems? Let's bring more people in. Let's just keep bringing more and more and more, and you see what happens. And this is what's so funny is that before we started this, believe it or not, I actually was trying to have some concrete statistics to back this up. It is damn near impossible to get just a straight, unbiased, unopinionated answer on one, illegal crime or crimes committed by illegals, and two, the actual number of illegals that are in this country, because that number for how many decades has been anywhere from 4 to 6 to 12 to 20 million. That's absurd. Who said these people's birth rates are off the charts compared to ours? Do you think that they're just you think they're going down to Planned Parenthood? No, doubtful. Okay, they are procreating and they are replacing Americans.
Yeah, I know the Cato Institute, I was trying to look this up, illegal crime statistics. Basically, ever since the statistics were being kept track of, illegals and legals were counted together. I think that's kind of tipping the scales in a certain direction.
Titus Jesus, you bring up a great point about
Thank you.
the
I
problems
tried.
here at home for many people, and we're bringing in mass droves of people from third world impoverished countries into our country when we can't even deal with the problems that we have as a country, and then we're extending our hand out to these people.
That has been my argument, man.
It's counteractive to making America a better place to live when you're taking in other people before helping your own.
The group that should be the loudest advocates for what we're talking about right now should not be us. It should be these self-proclaimed progressives, these self-proclaimed democratic socialists, because they screech from the rooftops about minimum wage should be raised, and we need to do more economically. You know who affects the economy more than any other American citizen? illegal immigrants, because you know what? They undercut everyone, absolutely everyone. We don't have a realistic gauge on what a minimum wage should be or what a livable income is, because you have a massive portion of this population that is not paying taxes the way that other people are paying them. Well, they pay taxes. No, they pay minimal tax. Okay, they'll pay sales tax, and they'll be sending money back. You need to start putting a tax on these money transits.
They do, actually.
Yeah, when it comes to Western Union, when it comes to all these monetary packages that are being sent out of the country, guess what? If you really want to start making money off this thing, if you're really serious about your GDP, you need to start tracking this. Okay, as soon as money start leaving the country, you need to be a lot more investigative on why it's leaving and where it's going and to whom, everything else.
Which is the reason why, Chinese immigrants are buying up
real estate,
all of the real estate in
entire
the
blocks.
west of America, making it almost impossible for normal American citizens to afford even an apartment to rent.
At least the
San
Chinese
Francisco
understand what's valuable.
or Seattle.
Yeah, I think we're about ready to close this out. I hope it's been educational. I hope it's been fun. We've had some fun, but this is a serious issue, and I mean, I don't know where we go from here, because like I said, this the biggest education I've got in the past 4 years has been that no one cares about it except for the people who are feeling it. That's why I said the importance of the word "we," the importance of looking at this country as your home, the importance of as soon as you look at it from a personal level, it changes your entire dynamic. They're not looking at it from a personal level. They're looking at it from a posturing level. They're looking at it from a political level. We're not. In closing, what do you guys have to say to our masses?
Get married, have a lot of kids.
I like it. That's good.
Create your own communities, outbreed the other breeders. I mean, that's the only way you can keep going on. I mean, create your own little community, have little people that follow up in your legacy and your traditions, values, and principles.
And make sure that you're doing it the right way, Getting married to somebody and having a family afterwards is the right way to do your business. But at the same time, as far as, what you stand for, make sure that your voice isn't silenced because you're not going to be popular.
More people need to start talking about this and just engage with reality.
Yeah, I mean, don't listen to what society tells you is cool.
Listen to what we tell you.
Listen to what Rob Rance tells you.
Start at the local level. I mean,
that's what affects you the
your
most.
state might have requirements on immigrants. Certain cities might, but
ask why. Ask why you're doing this.
Yeah, say you're in a small town. Vote for the people who's going to say, look, our city is going to exempt itself from what the state is requiring. And that's another way to protect your communities.
Mm-hmm. And also, just quit being too nice about everything, because your niceness is your weakness. You're letting things happen without standing up for yourself.
Apathy and tolerance are the last virtues of a dying society. Titus Jesus said that. Or maybe Socrates or Plato or Aristotle. I don't know. Morons. Well, we thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy your week.